most of my life, I actually wanted to be a neurosurgeon. I wanted to be a doctor. But then working on cars, I fell in love with cars more than people. I've got a two-part career plan. I would like to start doing research in industry, go to a company that pays me to do research. I research the latest things, design the latest stuff. For right now, it looks to be autonomous cars. Autonomous cars is the immediate future. Do that research for 20 or so years. And then I'd like to go back and teach. I'd like to go back and take what I've learned in industry research, bring it back to university. I enjoy interacting with students, and I love the aha moments of when they get something that I get. In undergrad, I knew I wanted to do cars. I did mechanical engineering so that I could go into the automotive industry. And the only program in the U.S. that is dedicated to automotive engineering is Clemson's iCar program. I did the suspension track, basically how well a car handles the road. I started being interested in cars like most guys get started with 94-cent toys. I had Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels cars. And then growing up, my dad always worked on cars. He didn't ever bring a car to a shop. We worked on them. So when I was tall enough to see over the hood, I worked on them. And then I eventually got good enough I could work on the cars themselves. And then I started doing all my own work without them, and it just progressed from there. About the time I got interested into cars, I wanted to go fast, but racing's expensive, and my dad didn't have $6 million to put me in a race car every weekend. But I learned from a friend that there's a sport called autocross. And I was like, what's autocross? It's like, oh, it's kind of like racing in a parking lot. So we go to a giant parking lot, we set up cones. Some people who know something about the technicalities of cornering and stuff set up a course. And then we race around these cones in a parking lot. Cars spin out all the time. One of the first things Makaya said to me is, what happens if I spin out? Well, you will spin out. That happens. That's part of autocross. We have a rule: when you start to spin 2 feet in, brake and clutch, you're not going to hit anything. The only rule for running autocross is you have to meet a height to width requirement, so your car doesn't roll over. But otherwise, every car is welcome at autocross. To be fair, at autocross, they put cars in different classes. So we have a lot of different tiers. The lowest tier, or the closest to stock, or how a car comes out of factory, is street class. And then the more you modify your car, the higher up you go up in classes. So we have street touring, street prepared, street modified, prepared, and modified. So we have those 6 tiers. I'm still in street class because I haven't done that much to my car yet. But there are people that can sink $50,000 to $100,000 in their car, and they're up in like the modified classes. And they're by far the fastest because they've done the most. They're farthest away from factory.